Welcome to What's Growing at CMC, the weekly segment where I, Daniel,
and I, Talasha, share with you about some of what God is growing here at College Mennonite Church.
Last week, we enjoyed a photo edition of What's Growing.
We talked very briefly, then let the pictures do the storytelling.
Look for more photo editions in the future, but usually without us talking.
This is the 100th episode of What's Growing, so it needs to keep growing and changing to fit the needs of the congregation.
And we will be on sabbatical, May 6th through September 6th. So, photo editions are much easier for others to cover while we are gone.
These will only be interesting with photos to share, so please send your photos to Addie.
Include a brief description if your photo isn't self-explanatory.
Like last week, we will play the photos following worship and in the hallways as well.
Guess what?
It's getting close to Easter.
2 years ago, we had all kinds of plans ready to go for Easter Sunday, and then everything was shut down.
Now, finally, the health situation here is good enough that we can gather in ways that really feel more normal again.
But of course, since we as a congregation are quite different than we were 2 years ago, we didn't just dust off those old plans.
Instead, we have a whole different celebration in the works.
On Maundy, Thursday, April 15, come to the fellowship hall at 6 p.m.
You will find your way to a table, and once your table is filled, you'll do a hand-washing ritual together in the spirit of Jesus washing his disciples' feet.
We'll enjoy a simple supper together.
Adriana is making pozole, and Becky is making vegetable soup.
As we eat together, we will also enact the sharing of the bread and the cup that Jesus did with his disciples.
And sprinkled throughout our time together will be a few songs and prayers.
There will also be an opportunity for a more traditional foot washing time for those who would like to do that.
In Luke's gospel, Jesus tells his friends that he has eagerly awaited this meal with them.
And it seems fitting that the enactment of this meal is our first meal back together, something we too have eagerly awaited.
We will lead this time together in both Spanish and English.
But we won't have a lot of words. Most of the words will be between you all at the tables.
Our Good Friday service will be virtual only, as we've noticed that more people seem to engage it in this way.
Like last year, it's a highly visual service.
You will see pictures of the story, and you'll watch candles being blown out as you hear the story being read bilingually.
The service will air at 7 p.m.
And then we will come to Sunday, and we get to celebrate the resurrection.
Yes, time for a Fiesta Sunday.
If you are like me and you feel like there are just certain songs you really want to sing on Easter, come to the sanctuary at 9 o'clock.
We'll sing together until 9:30 when the worship service will start.
Our worship service will be a little shorter than usual, ending at 10:15.
And at 10:15, people who attend both worship services will gather in the fellowship hall and the hallway and the memorial garden for brunch and activities.
There will be an activity challenge for children and anyone else who wants to try it, complete with a sweet treat at the end.
Bring along a brunch finger food to share as we celebrate together.
At 10:45, we will all gather in the fellowship hall to celebrate communion.
We're doing this outside of both worship services because we really want to have communion as a full body of Christ on Easter.
And following communion, we will continue with brunch and activities.
And at 11:11, worship will begin.
There will be a lunch following the 11:11 service for anyone who would like to come.
This will be different from past years, but with a definite air of familiarity.
And like Jesus, we have eagerly awaited sharing this together.
To help you anticipate Holy Week, stay tuned for some pictures of Holy Weeks past.
God was, God is, and God will be.
Thanks be to God.
Reaping and sowing, planting and hoeing, there's something showing, popping up through the sod. The Spirit's blowing, new life we're knowing, giving and growing in the garden of God. Reaping and sowing, planting and hoeing, there's something showing, popping up through the sod. The Spirit's blowing, new life we're knowing, giving and growing in the garden of God. Reaping and sowing, planting and hoeing, there's something showing, popping up through the sod. The Spirit's blowing, new life we're knowing, giving and growing in the garden of God.